This is my message to the people that actually listen to me on my YouTube. I tell you, it is so painful to hear of the pain and the hurt of the people that are either going through a divorce, been through a divorce, or looking towards a divorce. When I started my YouTube, basically it was September when I got serious. It was September of 2024. That's when I really got serious about, what do I have to say? And I was 70 years old, and I was at the point in my life that, I don't know what else to do. I was contemplating talking to you, my audience, to grow my audience, about business, about being an entrepreneur, and how tough it is to be an entrepreneur. However, it's fulfilling, but not everybody can do it. Okay? Here's my microphone. Not everybody can do it, and I could tell you why. I spent 50 years in business, and the more I got into it, the more I got into entrepreneurs that are looking to sell their business, look for a successor, look for a general manager, look to grow their business. And believe me, the last 25 years, I've been through COVID, I've been through 2008, I've been through China, I've been through Mexico, I've been through outsourcing, CAD/CAM operations, very sophisticated opportunities as an entrepreneur. But one thing I got that a lot of people didn't have was I got a shot. And I got a shot from my father. He had a family business and 11 kids and about 350 employees. And things changed. Our number one customer, that was over 90% of our business, decided to go in-house. We weren't prepared for it. My father wasn't prepared for it. My father was, actually ready to retire. He had just bought the business from his partner. And I was in my mid-20s, and my father gave me the shot. I didn't have no clue what I was doing. Now remember that. I was in my mid-20s, still going to college, 3 children, married, and I was in charge of 350 employees, some temps, some full-time. Full-time were about 150. Our strategy, due to our client giving us the opportunity to reduce our staff over 3 years, we did it. We had to change everything. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because I had a lot of energy at the time and I had a lot of dreams, but the number one focus I had was the business. And not only the family business, the employees, our customers, my 3 kids, a marriage, and about 9 of the family members were counting on me to turn the business around. Now, why do I say I got the shot? I got the shot because no one else wanted it. It was really tough. And why am I talking about it? It's because soon after that was 1980, and then in 1988, I went through a divorce. Tough times. Now, why am I bringing this to your attention? Here's why. I had to change my priorities. I had to change my way of doing business. I had to change my attitude and my mindset about traditional marriages, which I was raised with 10 brothers and sisters in a traditional family and family business. I get a lot of comments from you, my audience, still in this pain. Now think about it. It's almost 40 years since reality hit that I went through a divorce. But at the same time, I thought I was on the mountaintop. We went down to 32 employees over those 3 years, and then we grew again to about 150. Well, guess where my head was? 150% on the business, and growing it to the point where all of us would be millionaires, not just me. Of course, I thought the money would come. But it's a long game that you have to understand. And if you're listening to me about divorce, you have to understand it's the long game. Divorce isn't something that you just go through a divorce, you forget about it, and you move on to the next fucking mistake. Now, my analogy is going to be professional sports. Or whatever profession you were looking at, and then all of a sudden something happened. Some crisis, some tragedy, or something to excuse yourself that, God, man, I'm not going to become an athlete. I'm not going to become a businessman. I'm not going to become whatever you've been doing. And when you go through a marriage that wasn't healthy, that wasn't part of your dream, I got a lot of therapy, man. I got a lot of therapy because I couldn't talk to anybody. Who am I going to talk to? There was nobody really divorced in my family that had the upside that I had. And I had high expectations, high goals. I was so young that I was like, and I wanted everything done right away. I didn't want any more pain. I wanted the company to grow. I wanted my employees to stick and stay because the employees make it happen. And then with my kids, with the divorce, I had to reshape my whole life. I had to become, in a way, Mr. Mom. And why am I saying this? Because you got to do it. These excuses is about, these comments, Rock, this happened to me, that happened to me, and this. I know I put you up to it, okay? Because you're listening to my previous videos that I'm talking about. Pro se and prenups and make sure you pick the right horse and all this other shit. Well, guess what? I want you to start thinking about it. No more excuses. You have to change. And that's what I did. My secret wasn't a secret. It was a strategy. But it took years to accept the fact that I had to pay alimony for 22 years, that I had child support for all these years, that I had to raise my kids on my own, that I have to discipline them. I have to carry on the legacies of my parents that were probably the perfect parents. Why? 11 kids, they kicked us in the ass. And there was a standard. That standard was not ABC. No, it was excellence. And I was in business to be excellent for our clients, for our capabilities, for our profits, for the employees. I wanted our employees to love working at our family business. Love it. And at the same time, I'm working as a workaholic, and I spent those 12 hours. But then I was lucky because I had a great team. I could walk away as a sales guy in the image of the organization. In fact, our tagline was at that time the Can Do graphics company. Can Do. C-A-N-D-O. And you know what they called me? I had my license plate, my vanity license plate. I was the Can Do kid. Everybody was 20, 30 years older than me. I'm talking about my clients. My father gave me the opportunity, but he kicked me in the ass. I have it in a book, my memoir. It's called They Named You Right. I'll talk to you soon. God bless.